Welcome back. 35 points lower, 25,700 is where we're at. We're off the lows by about 65, 70 points. Amit Gupta is head of Equities, PMS, Motilal Oswal Private Wealth. Amit, good afternoon. Good to have you with us here. Would you like to answer a short-term question about Friday, Amit, based on what happens in the US today? You think it can turn the mood a little bit if these tariffs are struck down? We don't know if there's a ruling, but if it strikes down, we were just talking about it before the commercial break. It has the potential, right, to provide a substantive amount of breathing space.
So I think definitely, because market is factoring, a lot of negatives right now. So earnings growth was already a concern. Then we saw the exporters, they came in trouble. They were absorbing a lot of losses, actually. There is always a fear if this continues, then they can permanently lose some of the customers. Though US export is hardly 2% of GDP, and the government is trying a lot of FTAs outside. But as far as we have understood, the export to US so far, we have got an alternative to 22 or 24% only. So if the news comes out that the tariffs are coming down, and if some kind of agreement comes in, I think it is definitely positive. Market is waiting for that. And the large caps are very attractively valued, I would say. I mean, if you look at banking, oil and gas, infrastructure, even technology, because technology also is coming under pressure if the deal is not happening. So though it does not impact it directly, but indirectly also there is a lot of nervousness, the kind of growth which can lead actually forward. So I think overall it will be positive, no doubt about this. Market is looking for such kind of announcements.
Amit, what about an individual stock that you have tanked up on? Something new or something that you had that you build on a position over here? With due disclosures, if you could share with us.
So I would say the market is getting narrow and narrower actually now. The hiding places are coming lower. Banking obviously is still is standing tall, particularly the mid-sized private banks. I think a lot of FDI is coming. And if you look at the earnings growth going forward, considering the situation that we don't see further hike in the tariffs actually going forward, our sense is that the EPS growth for the large cap private banks will be somewhere around 17-18%. If you look at the mid-sized private banks, it will be in excess of 40% also. So you are going to see a good surge there, and that is where actually some mid-sized private banks which have been consolidating for a long period, which may be one of the performing stocks in the last rally, but unfortunately the credit growth was not coming, the NIMs were under pressure. I think you will find opportunities over there. So just to take a case of City Union Bank, it was one of the best bank actually we used to see in the previous rallies, but then the things were not coming to promise. And then if you look at recently, we have seen the credit growth almost coming around 18%. Industry is growing at 11%. So they are talking about even two times of the industry growth in terms of credit. So I think this is something very positive which can come out. They are betting on MSME, they are betting on gold financing, and then they will be moving into the retail financing also. And we have seen the return on assets are somehow now moving above 1.5%, and they can get stabilized. So the kind of valuations they are in, I think it looks more attractive. So such kind of ideas are going to work. PSU banking is already there, which was very attractively valued before, and they have seen some kind of performance already. If you look at the slippages in PSU banks from almost 2,75,000 crore in before 2020, now it is somewhere around only 55,000 crore. So it has come down significantly. Only question is how much credit growth is going to recover. And also, though it is denied recently that FI limit can be increased in some of the PSU banks, I think consolidation is definitely there on the cards. And after that, that thing also possibly can come up.
Okay, so private banks more than PSUs right now because of the run-up we've seen in PSUs. I mean, that's the broad thrust here?
So PSU bank is definitely attractive because of the valuation part. Oh. But if you look at the earnings growth perspective, because they have a larger chunk of the bond yields also, of the bonds also, GSEC bonds also. So there the bond yields actually have a little bit surge because ultimately how much rate cut will happen, that came in the question mark. And we saw some surge, and that can lead to some kind of reversal in the treasury profits. That is the only thing. Otherwise, as if you look at the commentary from SBI, they are talking about 1 to 1.5 to 2% also increase in the credit growth on such a large size of asset base. And this is which is positive. And ultimately, you have to look at more FTAs. You have to start exporting outside, not just relying on one economy, though it's a large economy. But if the gates open up, I think it's a double positive. It's a double positive, because whatever you were exporting, then you are opening gate in the adversity outside also, and that can help double way.
Yeah, 100%. Metals, Amit, what's the best bet here?
So I think initially the move started from the precious metals, gold, and then was caught up by silver. The other commodities also eventually are starting. I think it's a very strong cycle for metals. Market is looking for alternative to dollar. Eventually, till that is not coming out, the money is moving into the precious metals, and obviously you cannot have too much of divergence between precious metals and other metals. And people are looking for real assets actually in such kind of volatile scenario. And that is the reason slowly all the commodities have started coming up. We bet big actually on copper because we realize that all the new technologies which are coming in now, they need copper, starting from solar to wind to missiles and now data centers. And almost 30,000 ton refined copper is coming out from Hindustan Copper, and the demand is almost 65,000 tons. So I think there was a big demand supply gap. And now we are seeing the materials which are going to be used in batteries, for example, nickel, cobalt, manganese, ore. I think the time is coming for them also. So nickel prices have already started moving up. I think the next in the offing is manganese ore. It can also start performing. You have some companies like Manganese Ore India Limited, Sundar Manganese. I think those kind of companies can also start participating. So yes, it's a very positive scenario for commodities, I would say. Though they don't come with less volatility, they come with very high volatility. You will have you will quite often see the weaker hands. They will be going out because of that volatility, and the people who are able to stay on that, they can make better money. So yes, this cycle you cannot avoid in the portfolios. Initially, you may have 5-10%, that can be increased to 20% also. This is what we have also done.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for that, Amit. Look forward to chatting up with you rather soon. Well, it's that time of the show. We hop across